In this video, we will talk about Quizly website for automatic question generation and discuss the solutions that we provide to our website, which consists of two essential sides, the integrated models and backend side. When it comes to the models, there are three main steps to be discussed, which are summarization, keyword extraction, and finding the destructors of the expected keyword. We apply text summarization to the user input to extract the most important sentences and ignore the less important ones using the text rank algorithm. Then, let's show our 5 solutions for extracting keywords.
The first method is building our customized NER model. We loaded a Spacy pre-trained model and trained our new entities on top of that model. We have built our datasets and we have applied these datasets to our model to train it. Second method here is LSTM model. This neural network totally depends on 3 features. Firstly, it needs a sentence that defines what we want to ask about. Secondly, it needs to extract noun phrases from those sentences to consider it as a candidate phrases. And then we extract the whole neighboring context of noun phrases. Then we need a labeled training set, extracted entities with imported terms and not imported terms. After that, we built our neural network, which have 3 input layers for each feature, noun phrases, and its context, and all sentences, then train it. Our third method is RAG model, which is short for Rapid Automatic Keyword Extraction. It's one of the unsupervised and domain-independent algorithms. We use it to extract keywords or key phrases from users' resource, which tries to determine key phrases in a body of text by analyzing the frequency of word appearance and its co-occurrence with other words in the text. The fourth method is subtree matchers that find interesting relations in the sentence by getting the dependency path in the sentence. By getting the dependency path by the subtree matcher, we can extract subjects and objects in the sentences, and the root verb that connects the object and the subject. That's done on active and passive voice sentences. The fifth method is text rank, which creates a graph of the words and relations between them from a document. Then identifies the most important words or vertices of the graph. Words represent the vertices here in that graph, based on importance score calculated from the entire graph. In order to find relevant keywords or keywords that are related to each other, the text rank algorithm constructs a word network. This network is constructed by looking which words following one another. The algorithm is looking for these words.
At the end, pattern model. We formalize some patterns to extract hypername, hyponame, and we define these patterns before we start our model. After that, whenever we use this model, it extracts candidate keywords based on the provided pattern.
Now, let's talk about our third and final step. Within the destructors, we have used Word2Vec model. We trained this model with a new data in form of sentences. We have collected some sentences in each domain to train the model on them. The amount of sentences is about 600,000, and about 10,000 of them are related to our domains, and the rest are general sentences to make the data more diversity. Each sentence within this data set contains an important keyword, which help the model to predict other keywords in the same context. To select the best destructors, we have used the genetic algorithm. Each chromosome represents number of keywords. The fitness for this chromosome is the sum of all distances between the right keyword and all keywords in the chromosome. The higher number we will get means farthest distance, which means that there is no link between the right keyword and all keywords in the chromosome.
Now we will talk about our last approach for generating MCQ question. It is more about recommendation system. User enter his resources, then we measure the similarity between user's input and the questions that's stored in our database and its destructors. Then it returns the most similar question.
Hello. Now we will register on our site. We will enter some random data, but the email will be real in order to receive messages from the admin. For example, this is our card ID. We will upload any image, for example. and wait some seconds. Now it's done. Now I am on the admin account and I will check the requests of the instructor. We will check the card ID. After finish, we will accept. It's done. After receiving the email from the administrator, we will log in now. The password. Here is instructor profile and this is generating questions form. Generate questions operation has a lot of features, like type of questions, MCQ, true, false, or complete, or number of answers, level of questions, and domain. And finally, we can write the generation in text by clicking on write in text button here and write the text here, or upload text file by clicking on upload text file button here and select the generation file and click on generate question. Wait for generating questions. Upon completion of the process of generating questions, we can choose any number of questions we want to save and click on save questions button and confirm. Now I want to add a manual question, so I will go to add new question from the sidebar here. This is adding question form. I will choose the type of question as a complete and I will make it private. That means that nobody can see the question except me. And I will choose the domain software engineering and I will make it easy. After that, I will enter the text of the question. In software engineering SDLC stands for. This is the question text and I will enter the answer. Software development life cycle, and this is the answer, and I will click add. Question added.
After generating questions and adding new questions manually, if I want to see all my generated and added questions, I will click on My Questions button from the sidebar menu, and I will select the type of the questions from the first drop-down list. So I will select MCQ, and I want to see all the software questions. So from the second drop-down list, I will select software and I will click on search button. Now I can see all the MCQ questions which are generated in software. So now I have the ability to edit any one of them or even deleting any one of them. If I want to delete any one of them, I will click on delete icon and I will click confirm. So I get my question deleted. And if I want to edit any question, I will click on edit icon. Now I have the ability to change the status of the question from private to public, or even change the difficulty level, or edit in the question itself, or the answer, or manipulating the destructors by adding any one of them, or deleting any one of them, or even editing any one of them. I want to change the status of the question from private to public to be added in the question bank, and I will click edit. I will click OK. Now I get my question edited from private to public, like this. If I want to see all the public questions which are generated by me or even by someone else, I will click on Question Bank button from the sidebar menu. After that, I will select the type of the question from the first drop-down list. I will choose to see all the types. Secondly, from the second drop-down list, I will select the domain. I want to see software domain. After that, I will click on search button. And now I can see all the public questions in the software field.
Now, I want to generate an exam. Upon completion of the process of creating and saving questions, I will find my questions in my bank, here. Initially, I must add some attributes before starting to choose the questions. These attributes are the subject name, like software engineering, and the university name, like Helwan, and faculty name, like computer science, and the duration of the exam, like 120 minutes. After that, I will choose the questions that I want to put in the exam. For example, I can also edit them if I want, like this. And I can also add manual questions like we explained before, from here. When the exam building is finished, I will click the generate question button, here.
After generating the exam, if I want to see the generated exam, I will click on My Exams button from the sidebar menu. I can search for the exam by subject name, or by number of questions in the exam, or by date, or duration, or university, or faculty, or even by clicking on search button directly. I will click on search button directly, and here is my generated exam. So I will click on it, and here my generated exam. I have the ability to get the exam printed, so I will click on generate PDF, and here's my exam printed.
The idea of generating an online exams has affected many sides and different persons. It affects education, students, instructors and professors. For education, it becomes easier and faster than before and available for anyone to make an online exam. For students, making an online exam decreases the stress because they get rid of stressed atmosphere of the traditional exams. Finally, it affects professors because they save their time and efforts.